Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining. And today we are going to talk about how to manage data on Salesforce DX. So talking a little bit about Scratch.org, but also sandboxes. It applies to both. To introduce myself, so I'm Sovan. I'm a Salesforce CTA, Certified Technical Architect, and CEO of Odaseva. And Raf is actually our product manager of the product you're going to see in the demo, of the CLI and also the API. So what we are going to go through is who we are as a company and what is our product data for Salesforce DX called ODX. And we will go through a demo and save some time for Q&A. So who we are as a company. So we started 5 years ago, and our specialty is started with backup. And we also do archiving. And all of the power of our platform regarding data has been packaged into a data management solution. And what we'll see in the demo is actually really around the data management part of our offering. So what is data management? It's all around data in Salesforce. Could be data sampling, data transformation, could be data anonymization, transporting data from one sandbox to another, initializing a sandbox with a set of data for developers. So several use cases. Our customers, so they go from small companies like ADS in the defense industry to very large customers such as Robert Half International, Schneider Electric, or GE. And they represent more than 1 million Salesforce users that we serve. So we are recognized as the most advanced solution for data management as of today. And we manage more than 100 billion records, pure Salesforce records per year. So that's a lot of data, and that's where our experience comes from. So it's not only just about the volume, it's also about the performance. When you manage so much data, you have to be able to extract it as fast as possible, but not too fast also. So we give this number of 15 million records per hour, but we can go actually faster. It all because we control the speed of extraction. Data comes with the topic of security, obviously. So this is the most important part for our platform. A few examples is we handle 3 layers of encryption from network to server to the client encryption, where actually you can manage your own key like you do with Salesforce Shield, so that we don't have access to your data. Our platform is not just backup and restore. It comes with multiple layers to handle the data on Salesforce, especially. So we have some layers for metadata to back up the metadata as well. But we have an e-discovery tool to look for a specific set of data into our platform. We have SQL replication so that you can replicate Salesforce to a database like Oracle or Postgres, and some tools regarding data quality or auditing how your data is behaving. Some comparing tools where you can compare sandboxes and identify gaps between data or metadata so that you can create a diff and actually align the sandboxes together. We have some macro to automate tools. We have a virtualization, which is a Salesforce emulator that we have announced. And the reason why I'm going through that, whereas we are talking about how to manage data for Salesforce DX, is actually our new product, the CLI, which is a plugin for Salesforce DX, lets you reuse all of the power of our platform in command line. So it's just the same platform, but instead of using the UI, this is pure command line that reuse our API. So what you see in the command line is also possible through API. So you could connect us to an Informatica, a MuleSoft, and do the same. So now let's jump to the new product that we are launching. So as you have seen, we have multiple layers in our platform, but today we are going just to talk about a simple use case, which is creating a data sample and anonymizing it. So you know that there is no such thing as production data in a development QA environment. Multiple reasons: quantity, quality, diversity, confidentiality. And this is why our product allows you to solve that particular challenge. So your goals is actually to include data in your continuous integration and delivery process, for one. Number 2, to get relevant business sample of data in Scratch.org for you in testing or training, or in the sandbox as well. And number 3, anonymize data samples for data privacy. But the challenges is, first of all, Salesforce Data Loader cannot automate a data migration or anonymize data. Number 2, sampling relevant business data in a complex data model can be complicated. And number 3, pushing data to Salesforce can be even more challenging. How do you automate a data migration in one step? When we talk about CI, every time we talk about metadata, we want everything to be fully, continuously integrated. But what about data? How do you seamlessly transport all of the data from one environment to the other? So what you will see in the demo with this CLI solution that we bring, it's a plugin with Salesforce DX that is going to interact with our REST API, and it's going to execute a series of jobs running in our platform. So what is a job? It's an asynchronous task where there is a status very similar to the bulk API, where it's not started, completed, and you can check the result. And it's running in a cloud engine with a secure data storage. And then it's going to interact with the multiple Salesforce org you have. Could be the DevUp, which is the master org for the Scratch org. Could be the Scratch org, could be sandboxes, etc. Eventually, you could also upload or download results from our platform if you like to use your own transformation layer, ETL, with the transform of your own tools inside your infrastructure. So for the demo, what you have seen yesterday when we went to the demo on stage was that we can handle very complex data model schema. A very not easy one, but just simple layer, which is a Salesforce standard data model. We can go even further with your own data model and custom objects. But what we demoed yesterday was we can take an account and navigate through the schema and take all of the data in one single line of command that we will see in the demo. And you can see here that what we did was taking the case with the case comment, opportunity line item, taking the product, the price book too, with chatter, the task and event, attachment, etc. But with this, let's take the first demo, is if I'm a developer, I don't want to spend too much time to do this very complex data migration where you have to rebuild all of the relationships. I would like to, in 10 seconds, to put some relevant business data into my Scratch org so that I can quickly develop. And the scenario number 2 will be the developer might do this every day on a very recurring basis, but once in a while, you might want to refresh the sample of data to have the new data model to be transmitted to the developer. And you might want to remove sensitive information, confidential information you don't want to share with the developer. So now, Raf is going to go through the demo on command line.
Hi, guys. So I'm going to show you a bunch of commands we developed for...
maybe, Raf, can you zoom a little bit because it's a bit small?
It's too small? OK. Going to set it. OK, 20 should be OK.
Are you seeing it well? Good enough?
OK. So we've developed a number of commands. We won't go through all of them, but we'll show you some to get you started. So the first thing you have to do, as we are a secure platform, is authenticate. So basically, as we show in the previous diagram, we're connecting to our REST API. So this is a prerequisite to launch commands on the platform. So we're OK. Let's see what we have registered for now. So to work with an org and our platform, you have to register it. So we initialize an object and get some useful data or metadata from the orgs. So the first thing we have to do for our scenario, we're going to move data from our DevUp to a Scratch org. So first thing first, let's create a Scratch org. So these are first commands for now. I'm gonna save it and name it session Scratch, for example. So I don't know if you had the time or the chance to attend to SFDX sessions. For those who don't know, basically Scratch orgs are temporary environments like sandboxes created rapidly. Well, for now we talk to them performance is a work in progress, but so you can see it's set up. And now we're going to register it on Odaseva platform. So we just provide the name. We're going to query some information.
Yeah, so what it's
and make it
doing
available.
in the background, it's retrieving all of the credentials from Salesforce and pushing it with OAuth 2 credentials to Odaseva so that then we can connect to it.
So it's all working.
Please join us at the 11:30 a.m. Dream Pitch on the third floor treehouse. Thank you.
And so the next thing we're going to do, we're going to purge the data on the scratch org. Currently, every scratch org comes with data.
It's very similar to the developer edition, so you have basic data.
It's
But
temporary.
in our use case, imagine you have your own data model and your own business case, and you would like to remove the data and just select the data that makes sense to you so that you can do developments quickly with the data that is very similar to the production environment.
So the first step takes some time, but you'll see that it's smoother after. Okay, and now we're going to open it just to check the content. We're crossing fingers. This is live, so. If it doesn't open, we got other scratch orgs to work with. Okay, we interrupt and we'll open it later. So we check our org is ready to work with.
So what this is doing is actually querying all of the environments from Odaseva to list all of the scratch orgs and
So
sandboxes
as you can see,
that are eligible.
The new scratch org is ready. It cannot be opened, but we can still start to work with it. So we're going to make it in a different order. We'll start by populating our scratch org with data that has been previously extracted and anonymized. So to retrieve the data, we'll first query our debug. So as Soban explained, everything on our platform runs as a job. And this job have associated data. No job type. And you can access to all previously run operations, backups, especially. So here you can see we created data samples with custom name and ID, so you can reuse them to, for example, populate our scratch org. So we'll start with English anonymized data.
So what Raf is going to show you is we are going to push English data into the scratch org. But because let's say, the business wants to deliver the solution to other countries, and then we need to do UTF-8 checking. So we are going to load on top of it some international data with Chinese and Japanese character, so that we can just have a libraries of data set that the business can build, and then the developer can just select what type of data would make sense in my context.
Okay, we'll use a current org, that is the scratch org we've created, and we'll provide the source data as a job ID.
So what you see here is in one line, we are doing something that would take multiple hours or multiple days to do with a data migration. So it's going to take all of the data, let's say account, contacts, opportunity, etc., and rebuild all of the relationship automatically. And then solving problems you know in data migration, like how do you handle personal account and business account? How do you load knowledge data, chatter data, price book management? So you know that when you are doing those stuff, it could take multiple days or hours, depending on how much data you're working with for data migration.
So while it opens, and we hope it will work this time, I'll show you rapidly a parameter of the populate command was you have to tell the platform what you really want to do. So we have many parameters. So today we can go into the details of it, but you can do many things to make sure your data sample will be restored correctly. No luck with the scratch org.
Yeah, we seem to have some.
So you will have to
connection
trust
issues.
us that the data have been restored. I guess we're not lucky.
So the SFDX force org open is actually a command line for Salesforce DX that allows you to open the scratch org. Looks like we have some DNS issues.
So SFDX is not very nice with us for this demo. Well, maybe we'll switch to something else and wait to see later if we can open the org.
Okay.
So, okay, so what I want to show you now is how we can create data samples. Of course, you can, before populating scratch org, you had to manage your samples, create them, anonymize. So we'll run a command to create a sample. So it's pretty easy. We have a command for it. In the same manner, you have to parameterize your job. Provide a name.
So if the last job was about populating the sandbox, sending the data to the scratch org, this one is about the sampling, extracting the data from the production environment in a logical way. And you say, I want this and this and this and this account, and then you want to logically take the children records or the parent records. Only the contacts and opportunities related to that particular account. Only the et cetera, et cetera.
So this is an example of a parameter or file. So you have many possibilities, either for navigation, data filtering, and anything you need to sample exactly what you need for your test data. So
in this example, what it does is it takes accounts where a checkbox called sampling equal true is there, and we are only going to grab there is another field called sampling language where it is equals to English. From there, we are going to do sub-queries where we are going to take only the children of those particular accounts.
So the JSON format may seem complicated to handle or to edit, but it's really nice if you want to automate generation of this JSON. It's really practical. So what we can see, the sample has been created. We just check as it runs in background that is completed.
And maybe what you can do, Raf, in parallel is open a new command line and try to launch the scratch org in parallel.
Okay. What you can do if you want to manipulate your data locally on your hard drive, maybe manage them in a configuration software, you can simply download them. So it's very simple.
So now in this scenario, imagine you have a data sample that you want to send to the Scratch org, but you would like to enrich that data sample. So you can download it from Odaseva, and then you can create records on your own laptop. You can transform it using any transformation layer you have in your architecture, and then you can upload it back to Odaseva so that we can send it to the Scratch orgs.
As you can see, we'll open it. And this is the data sample we've just created. So this is CSV, so you can see. Seems all right. We try what we can do also maybe is perform a modification of this sample and re-upload it to create a new sample. So I have to extract it in command line. Command line is so sexy, it's crazy.
So what we are doing here is we have, let's suppose we have modified the data sample that we have downloaded, and we want to re-upload it to Odaseva so that we can then send it automatically to any Scratch org or sandboxes.
Oh, I perform modification. I don't know the country. Canada dry, seems perfect.
And from there, you can imagine if we can do it from Odaseva to a Scratch org, from a laptop to Odaseva, we can also do it from a sandbox to prod. So while Raf is running the command lines, what I would like to mention is the discussion about CI today is most of the time about metadata. How can I continuously integrate all of my metadata from developer sandbox to integration to UAT to prod, totally automated? What about data? How do you automate this? Most of the time on the project, we hear, oh, that's just data migration, and then you take a few hours or between each environment, and then you have human mistakes, and it's no longer automated. If you have master data, let's say your code cannot work without some data into a custom object, like a list of country or other type of master data, then you must think about CI as a whole. So if you have some pre and post operation in your CI that requires manual operation for data, then you're not automated anymore. So this is what we're trying to bring with this tool, is to have an automated solution for data.
Oh. Sample. No. So we have a little issue here. Okay. So the org ID where I want to send my sample has been configured in the command parameters. So, okay, so now the sample has been created, and we can reuse it to populate an org. Well, I'd like to finally manage to open this org and show you we have actually populated the data. Maybe it will be okay, so SF DX. Oh, we're not lucky today.
The DNS again.
We try with another one we've prepared earlier. Scratch night. We had a long night. Oh, okay.
All right.
So
This
this one
is
is
a former Scratch org that was created. Apparently, several people are running SFDX command today, and looks like SFDX plugin is having performance issues.
honestly,
So on the left, you have a production org, which is your real data. And what we've just done in the demo is we have taken all of the records on the left with a checkbox you can see on the second field. And you can see multi-language or English, so you can create your own data samples. And we have sent them over to the environment on the right. So not only you have the accounts that have been created, but if we select one of them, we can see that all of the relationship has been created as well. So what we see if you click on the left, Raf, in the same
Okay.
account.
where is United Oil? Is that it?
It's not the same. United Oil and Gas is not the same. Singapore.
Sorry, with Singapore. Oh,
can-
okay.
You can order by sampling if you want.
Here we are.
So you can see that the detail page has been copied. If you go to detail, on the left and the right. Okay. So the information has been copied from one to another. And then if you go to, let's say, the related information as well, we have the opportunities, the contact, etc. If we have a look at the, this one should be anonymized, I guess, the contact.
I don't think on this demo we've run it. On this Scratch org, we've not restored the anonymized data.
Yeah.
I
So
don't
for
think
the
so.
transformation, when you want to anonymize, you can actually remove bank account numbers, social security numbers, first name, emails, and so that you can remove all of those information before giving the sandbox or the Scratch org to the developers.
So we have 3 minutes left
Yeah.
for the questions.
So maybe can you just show the last slides before we run a few questions? So your questions might be, SFDX comes with some data capabilities, so what are the difference? So first of all, there is data sampling with SFDX, but only 2 layers, account and contact. But if you have a complex data model, you don't have this. So what we bring is an unlimited capability to do data sampling. Then second of all, for data anonymization, there is no data anonymization capabilities with the standard SFDX, of course. And in terms of restore, there is, based on the REST API, the composite tree call, you can actually manage up to 200 records, but 5 level. If you have a complex data model, 5 level going just down might not be enough. For example, opportunity and opportunity item and product is going back and forth, so you might not be able to manage this. So here we can just manage any data model you have. So we are opening the private beta as of today. So if you're interested, come to our booth, and we can definitely discuss your use case and include you in our private beta. But maybe you already have a few questions for now that we can answer for 2 minutes. Any questions? So the question was, can we migrate user information, permission set? So basically, we can migrate 3 types of data. The data, which is opportunity accounts, the metadata as well, and also the files. So user information is actually data information, so we can move data. Permission set is a mix of metadata and data because of the assignment of the permission set. So basically, we can migrate it all. Our technology has been used to do org cloning, so we couldn't copy everything. So you take an org, and we can bring another org that is perfectly equal, even if the IDs are a bit different, but yeah. Any other question? All right. So we welcome you at our booth if you have follow-up questions about this, and definitely around everything regarding data management and Scratch org or sandboxes that you might have challenges in your context.
Thank you.